Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another Dhamma meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone who's interested is welcome to join. We're waiting for our first participant, which is Felicia Chan from Malaysia. Felicia, how are you?
Good evening, Ajahn. I'm fine. Very thank you, Ajahn. My practice is very good. I do have question at the woman, Ajahn. Thank you.
When you go to the temple again?
I think I planning year end.
Year end, okay.
Year end.
Same one. Ajahn, Longpo, Uthai Monastery.
Longpo Uthai. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
My house is my kuti.
Good. Have nothing in your house.
Yeah.
No entertainment.
Yeah. My practice is very good. I'm very happy. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Kwan Liman from Khao Chion, from Wat Yannasangwararam.
Ajahn, I'm feeling peaceful and happy here. I'm still meditating. Ajahn, may I know what is Patimokkha, the meaning of Patimokkha?
Patimokkha means the bhikkhus' sila, rules of conduct. The 227 rules is called the Patimokkha. And it's being recited every fortnight, every 2 weeks. Monks have to assemble. All monks in the monastery has to assemble and to listen to the recitation of the Patimokkha. So to remind them of their precepts that they have to maintain, that they have to keep. So every monastery will have to have on this day, on the full moon or on the half moon, on every 15 days, full moon and no moon, is to gather and then to listen to the recitation of the Patimokkha, which are the 227 rules of conduct.
Yes, just now they had Patimokkha at the shrine.
Yes, every 15 days more also. Usually during the Buddhist Buddhist observance day.
Thank you, Ajahn. I don't have other questions.
Okay. What about you, Jordan, from Toronto? Any questions from you?
I've been taking all of your teachings to heart and trying to reflect on them through all kinds of situations throughout the day. And I think it has been hard to keep up the practice back home here, but I'm still trying my best, and each time I feel it slipping, I try to sort of increase my effort, and so I'm doing well with it. I had a question about what I've heard you say to people before regarding practice to sort of keep the mind happy or try to always stay happy. And is this sometimes I feel when I'm practicing with Buddho that Buddho is all that there is, and so I can sort of at those times just sort of remind my mind to be happy, and it will just naturally be happy, content with the sort of the peace of just being with this simple mindfulness. Is this what you mean when you tell people to keep the mind happy?
Keeping the mind happy is to be mindful all the time. When you're being mindful, you cannot think by way of the kilesa. So your mind then will be calm and peaceful and happy. But as soon as you lose mindfulness, your thought can be used by your defilement to go think of some places to go, something to see, or something to do. When that happens, then you would not be happy where you are. Because where you are, you cannot do anything. You have nothing to do.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you can stay mindful, stop your mind from having any defilement coming up, then you can be happy wherever you are, with whatever you have.
When I'm not happy.
You're not happy because you define want something. You have no contentment. You lack contentment. Mindfulness is the one that will keep your mind contented.
Okay.
When you're not mindful, then your defilement will start thinking in terms of what you want something different, want something to do, want something to see, want something to eat or drink. It's all your defilement. Because you're not having mindfulness to stop your thoughts. So if you have Bhutto all the time, then you cannot think about other things.
Okay. Okay, that answers my
question. Try to be mindful. Yes, try to be mindful as much as possible. As soon as you know that you're starting to want something, then you know you're not mindful enough. You allow the defilements to take over your thoughts. So try to be mindful all the time, either with Bhutto, or focus on what you do with your body. And meditate as much as possible. Then you can keep your mind peaceful and calm and control your defilements. But this is still temporarily measuring you. You cannot kill the defilements with mindfulness. If you want to kill your defilement, you need to use wisdom, seeing the three characteristics of existence on the thing that your defilement wants to go after. See everything that your defilement wants to be dukkha, to be trouble, to be problem, to be, give you headache, hurt you more than giving you pleasure. They might give you initially pleasure, but after a while they will turn into trouble for you because you start to cling to them and you don't want them to change or you don't want them to disappear. But everything will change and everything will eventually disappear. When that happens, then you will become sad, unhappy. So this is wisdom. Every time you want something, see the thing that you want as being as having the three characteristics of existence. When you see dukkha in everything, then you don't want to have them. But if you still see pleasure from them, then you still want to go after them. But if you see trouble, you see headache, you don't want to go after them, right? But the problem is your mind sometimes try not to see the problem, try to only see the good side of things. So then you go after them, and then eventually they will turn to the bad side, and then that's when you got problem. So you have to see both sides of the story. Every story has two sides to it, good and bad, up and down. So you can see the whole picture, then you don't want to have anything. You don't want to have anything to do with anything. And you would rather live alone and depend on your meditation to keep you peaceful and happy. And when you see things as being harmful to you, then you will lose your craving for them, your desire for them. And when you have no desire, then you can remain not doing anything and still be happy. It's your defilement or your craving that is causing you unhappiness when you're not doing anything. So once you get rid of your cravings, then you can be happy not doing anything, not having anything. It's that simple, but it's very difficult to do. So you have to have strong mindfulness, and you have to see you have to have a sharp wisdom to see things clearly, see things as they are all bad, but you see them as being good. They are bad because they are transient, they change, they disappear, and you cannot control them. Understand the three characteristics?
Yes.
Okay. See
Yes, I
everything. Yeah. See everything as temporary. They can only give you temporary happiness or pleasure. Sooner or later, they will fail. They will no longer give you the pleasure or happiness. Then you'll feel sad, feel unhappy. So just rely on happiness for meditation and mindfulness and wisdom, trying to stop your cravings. Every time you have some cravings, try to stop them if they are not essential for your existence. If they are essential, then it's not craving. It's just essential. Like when it's time to eat, fine, you have to eat. But how many times you have to eat? Once a day, that's enough. That's essential. Twice a day, that's cravings already. See what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
That sounds just the answer I was looking for. I mean, I understand how to practice now.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Try it and see how it works.
I will. Thank you so much. And my dad isn't going to be here today, so he wants to. He sends his best.
He went sailing.
He had an appointment, something to do with the boat.
I see.
But he wishes he could be here.
Yeah,
Okay.
he can always watch later if he likes. Okay.
I showed him.
Is that all for
Thank
you now?
Lumpur. Yes, thank you, Lumpur. And Anita also says she misses you. And I told her she should drop in one day. Anita Basu.
Anita, you talked to her already?
Yes, I talked to her and sent your greetings, and she misses you, and she's very busy finishing her master's right now, and she will. Anyway, I'm passing on.
I understand she still practices with Ajahn Jeff.
Yes, she's been spending time there and practicing with him.
Okay. As long as she keep practicing, that's okay. No need to see me. But anyway, it's nice to hear that. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Go to Bangkok with Lillian and her son.
Evening,
Lele, that's your son's name.
Lele.
Lele.
He has a question.
Okay, go ahead, Lele.
Why didn't Buddha accept money?
Because we don't need money. Monks don't need to have money. Monk is fed. is taken care of by the lay people. And money is not good for monks, because once monks have money, monk will then use it in the wrong way, buying games, buying toys, and going to movies.
Go to the... Okay.
But
Okay.
like they give food, like if a monk have allergy to something and they eat that food, what will happen?
What food? What-
If a monk was allergic to chicken and then they eat it and then something happened to them, cause like people like give them chicken, what will happen to them?
Well, if they have stomach ache, then they just have to take medicine or wait for the poison to leave the body, and
But
then
they have to eat it, right?
they have to eat. Yes, everybody has to eat. But monks don't have to buy food, because food is freely given to monks. So monks need no money. You have to have money when you want food. Nobody gives food to you except your parents. Yeah.
Okay.
But monks, wherever a monk goes, if he has his magic bowl, he gets food wherever he goes. Every morning he walks down the street, and then people will come and give them food right away. You want to be a novice? You want to be samanera? Experience the life of a monk? Okay, when you're on summer holiday, ask your mom to go and take you to live and ordain as a novice for a month or something.
Okay, good idea.
So you learn something about living like a monk.
Let's do it next summer. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ajahn. I don't have any questions.
Okay, then we'll go to Switzerland to Professor Ken.
Good afternoon, Ajahn.
You're still on your sabbatical?
Yeah, just starting. Actually, officially starts today, the 1st of August.
I see. And that's the Swiss national holiday too, isn't it?
Yeah, so today is the Swiss National Day, so everything is quiet.
I remember I was in Switzerland that day, and the flag they have put the flag on every houses.
Yeah.
They still do that. They still do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of flags, and there's going to be a lot of fireworks going off later.
Yeah.
So it'll be quite noisy.
Yeah, I was there in 1972 in Switzerland, August.
Oh, 72. Yeah.
Almost 50 years, 51 years now. 51 years.
I think you told me the story of the Grindelwald,
Yeah,
Interlaken.
I was in or in Bern, somewhere around there.
Bern, yeah.
I spent a few days in different places. Zurich also, Bern, Interlaken, and Grindelwald. Before moving now to Italy.
Okay, yeah, it's not far.
Not far, down to Milan, I think. This is the next stop from Switzerland.
Yeah, that's right.
And I went to Venice, went to Firenze. I'm not sure called Florence.
Florence, yeah.
Florence. And down to Rome.
Wow.
It was live on the train.
Yeah.
I had a Euro pass, a 1 month pass, so I didn't have to buy a ticket, just get on the train.
Yeah. Very good.
That was a long time ago, and it's all over now. No more wanderlust.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear your story. It's very close to here.
Yeah. Okay. So you have anything to ask tonight?
Yeah, today is the Asala Puja, and I wondered if Ajahn could just say something about how we can use the teaching of that day to help our practice.
Actually, it is the birthday of Buddhism. What makes Buddhism? What makes Buddha is the appearance of the triple gem. On that day, the triple gem become complete. the Buddha and the Dhamma, he gave a talk, this is called the Dhamma. And the noble disciple, one of the 5 ascetics, after listening to his Dhamma talk, became the Sotapanna. So he became the first noble disciple of Buddhism. So Buddhism begins with the appearance of the triple gem. See, when the Buddha became enlightened 2 months earlier in May on Visakha Bhuja Day, there was just only the Buddha. There was no Dhamma and there was no noble disciple. But 2 months later, on today, he decided to give a Dhamma talk. So he went to the 5 ascetics who he believes can learn very quickly because they already have the requisite for enlightenment, which is they have jhana, they have purity of morality. All they need is just the wisdom from the Buddha on the 4 noble truths and the noble eightfold path. So the Buddha taught the noble eightfold path, tell them the right way toward enlightenment, to avoid the 2 extreme paths, the path of sensual pleasure, sensual gratification, and the path of what you call mortification, body, harming your body. These are not paths for release from suffering, for freedom from suffering. He found a path called the middle way, which is the noble eightfold path. So he listed the 8 factors of the noble eightfold path. And then he taught the 4 noble truths. That dukkha are caused by our cravings, our desire. And dukkha will disappear if we have the noble path, the noble eightfold path. Once the mind has the noble eightfold path, it will have the ability to stop the cravings in the mind. Once they can stop their cravings, then there will be no suffering. So this is basically what the Buddha taught on his first sermon, on his first discourse. We can go and search for the first discourse called the Dhamma Sutta. And it will tell you how it came about. It will tell the story of the Buddha meeting the 5 ascetics and then give them the discourse. And after finishing the discourse, one of the 5 ascetics became enlightened, seeing the 3 characteristics of existence on the body, seeing the body as being anicca, having been born, it will eventually have to die. Anything that rises will cease. That's what he said. And he accepts the truth and not try to refuse, because he has strong jhana, so he can absorb the truth without being hurt. We cannot absorb the truth because we lack the strong jhana to resist, to restrain our cravings, our desire to live. Our desire to live is the one that is causing us the suffering when we have to die. When we have this strong mindfulness and equanimity, then we know that death is something that unavoidable. And when it comes, the only way to deal with it is to let it be, not to resist. Because then we will die in peace. And actually we don't die, it's just letting the body die. We are the mind, the one who knows, the one who saying never dies. We just move on to the next, wherever our practice take us to. That's all. As a Sotapanna, when you die, you still have to return and reborn as a human being again, because you haven't finished your job. You haven't yet relinquished your attachment to using the body as your source of happiness. And if you can eventually stop your cravings for your body, to use your body and other people's body to give you happiness, then you will not return as a human being anymore. That's when you reach the third level of enlightenment, called the anagami. Then you will exist as a spiritual being and eventually reach nibbana as a spiritual being. You don't need to have a body anymore once you reach the third stage of enlightenment. But you still have to go through the fourth stage of it before you start rebirth in the rounds of in the three realms of existence. You have stopped being reborn on the central realm, but you're still stuck on the what you call rupa and arupa realm of existence, form and formless existence, because you still rely on jhana to keep you happy. So at that stage, you have to relinquish your attachment to jhana also. If you want to be free from having to reborn in the realm, in the rupa or arupa realm of existence. Once you have done that, then you can then reach nibbana, and there will be no rebirth. The Buddha and his noble disciple are spiritual beings still in existence, but doesn't take any existence in the three realms of existence. They are outside of the three realms of existence, which we call nibbana. So that's where we all want to go. Let's follow the Noble Eightfold Path. The five ascetics, after the Buddha gave another sermon, another discourse on the Anatalakkhana Sutta, they all became arahant. They could become enlightened very fast because they have jhana, they have morality. They don't break the precepts. They don't go after sensual pleasure. They spend their time meditating, keeping the mind calm and content, and then use wisdom to eventually get rid of all their cravings. Yeah, this is basically what today is about, called Asalaha Puja in Thailand. It's a big celebration, one of the three major Buddhist holidays. The first one is Visakha, the birth, enlightenment, and the passing away of the Buddha. And then this one is called Asalaha Puja, the first discourse, giving the first discourse to the world. And the third one is the Magha Puja, which is the assembly of 1,250 noble disciples to come and pay respect to the Buddha. So these are big holiday, big events in Thailand. The whole country have to stop selling liquor today. No liquor, so try to force people to keep the five precepts, which is very impossible because they still sell and buy because there's no enforcement. The police turn their blind eye. Okay. Anything else you want me to add?
That's very inspiring, Ajahn. Thank you very much for the explanation.
Okay. Next, Julia from Colorado.
Hello, Ajahn.
Nothing to say from Rocky Mountain High.
Yeah,
You're happy,
happy
peaceful and calm.
sometimes.
Sometimes,
Sometimes.
sometimes still agitated, still restless. Use
I do-
mindfulness. Every time you feel restless, every time you feel restless, just recite Bhutto Bhutto for half an hour, and you will calm your or more until you become calm. Treat your restlessness as an anomaly and something unusual. Restlessness is like a mental illness. So you have to use the Dhamma medicine of Bhutto Bhutto Bhutto, or chanting or meditating, and you'll stop your restlessness. Don't think. The more you think, the more restless you will become.
Evam.
Evam, okay. No question tonight.
Well, I had no question, but then I was thinking, and I remembered a question.
Go ahead.
I read a book about a Mechi a long time ago. I think her name was Mechi Gao.
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 Yeah.
And I read that she received some teachings from Luang Man, and then that she was kind of stuck in her practice because of the certain phenomena. But then she met Lungta Mahabua,
Yes.
and I was wondering what he said to her.
She had this ability to have psychic power. And
Uh-huh.
so every time she meditates, instead of getting her mind into the fourth jhana, she goes out and play around with her psychic power, talking to spiritual beings, communicating with spiritual beings every time. So she doesn't progress because her samadhi or her meditation is not going in the right direction. It's miccha samadhi, wrong samadhi.
Wrong samadhi.
And so one day, Lungta Mahabua, when she became his teacher, when she take Lungta Mahabua as her teacher, Lungta Mahabua tried to tell her to stop going after this psychic power and concentrate on the fourth jhana instead. But she still refused for some reason. Maybe she was stubborn or something. So after a while, Lungta Mahabua gave her the ultimatum: if you don't stop going after your psychic activity, I will not teach you anything. You and I are no longer teacher or student.
Oh.
Yeah. And he finally gave that ultimatum. She finally have to stop. And then do what Lungta Mahabua taught him to do, which is to focus on the fourth jhana, stay in the fourth jhana, to get equanimity. And once she has strong equanimity, then she can use it to support her with the development and of wisdom and the application of wisdom to get rid of her cravings. And she eventually became enlightened. We just have a series on her on YouTube. If you go back online, someone read the whole biography of her and we put it on YouTube.
Oh.
Just go to, it's in this page in my web. You can go to the YouTube page.
Okay.
Or go to Ajahn Dick's page. Ajahn Dick have the original translation read by an American, I think. Let's go to Ajahn Dick, longta.eu, I think, books on longta.eu books. And there are stories, Ajahn Mun's life biography, Mechi Gao's biography read in English for you to listen to.
And also some good translations of Lungta
That's
Mahabua.
right. His teaching,
By
Ajahn Dick and Ajahn Jeb. I think Ajahn Jeb did some translation, and I did some also.
Right.
Yeah, Forest Desana was my translate. I did the work on Forest Desana.
They're very helpful. Cool. Okay. Anurwadami.
Okay. I'll go to who is this now? Firalia, if I wish you read your name correctly. Luanda.
Wandami Banti. This is my first time joining this Zoom meeting. I'm from Indonesia. Actually, I have been joining retreat for some times, and the difficulty that I have is actually practicing at home, while I still need to learn how to balance my practice, because I found out that my main hindrances is actually sleepiness. But sometimes when I try to tackle the sleepiness, it becomes restlessness. So can Ajahn give me some suggestion on how to balance the practice between sleepiness and the restlessness?
Well, you need mindfulness to moderate both your sleepiness and your restlessness. If you do it without developing mindfulness at the same time, then you'll find the mind swing back and forth between restlessness and sleepiness. So you also have to keep developing mindfulness all the time. Keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto all day long, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. And then moderate your eating. Maybe try to eat only before noon and don't eat afternoon, for instance. But you have to moderate it. You have to have mindfulness also, because when you eat less, your mind will start to become restless. So you need mindfulness to reduce or to control your restlessness. It's like when I told Julie, when you're restless, you have to keep reciting Bhutto, 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 or do some chanting until your restlessness become gone. Then you can stop your Bhutto or your chanting. And when you're not restless, you should practice using Bhutto beforehand, because if you don't do it beforehand, when you have restlessness, you might find it hard to recite Bhutto. So the best practice is to be mindful from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep, with using Bhutto, or focus on your body activity. If you have strong mindfulness, then you can control your restlessness and your sleepiness. If you find your sleepiness is arising from eating too much, then you have to reduce your food consumption. And then if you have mindfulness, you'll be able to control your restlessness. Because when you're fasting or when you're eating less, your mind tends to be restless, agitated. But if you have mindfulness, then you can moderate that. You can keep it calm. So you lack mindfulness. Mindfulness and eating, not eating it too much. Moderation in eating. You need these two: mindfulness and moderation in eating, to deal with your drowsiness and restlessness. Understand?
Yes, Ajahn. I have another question. Is it okay, let's say, when sometimes when we are too tired and then we cannot practice the insight, and so when we sit and meditating, we just meditate with low energy just to calm the mind?
Well, if you find that you don't have enough strength, just maybe because your body needs rest. But if you think you already had enough rest with your body, then you have to resist this feeling of low energy. Maybe start listening to Dhamma talk to inspire your energy, to generate more energy. Sometimes you listen to Dhamma talk from meditation teacher, you can become energized. So sometimes you need to listen to Dhamma talk. Normally you should not be without Dhamma talk. You should do it every day from the masters, from the meditation masters, like Dhamma or somebody like that. Their talk are very inspiring and can energize you when you feel low and you feel lazy. Dhamma find it very, very important, very essential that monks should listen to his Dhamma talk at least every 4 or 5 days. He would call a meeting when I was first there. Every 4 or 5 meetings, he will call the monks to listen to his lecture, to his Dhamma talk. Because he found it useful for him when he stayed with Ajahn. Ajahn usually give regular Dhamma talks to give tips and also to inspire. So you should be listening to Dhamma talk regularly if you can, or reading Dhamma books. The practical one, not the theoretical one. Theoretical one can sometimes cause confusion. Listen to practical Dhamma talk.
Okay, Ajahn. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, all right. Next, Ubeka Alfredo from Sao Paulo.
Hi, Bante.
Sadhu.
Sadhu. It's
What's
okay, my
up?
practice.
Your practice is okay?
Okay.
Okay, no problem, no question.
Controlling Vedana, né, Bante?
Vedana.
Vedana.
You don't want to control them. You want to flow with them. Don't try to control them. They're like the sun and rain. You cannot control them. You need to learn to live with them. They come and go. They are anicca.
Yes.
They are anatta. They are not under your control.
Yes.
If you flow with them, then you will have no dukkha. If you try to control them, then you will have dukkha.
Yes.
So when your body feels painful, just let it be. Okay, this is pain, but it's temporary. It's anicca. Sooner or later, it will disappear.
Yes.
Just use putto when your body feels painful. Stop your mind from reacting to the pain of the body.
Yes.
We cannot control Vedana. They come and go. They keep changing from good to bad, from painful to not painful, to feeling good. This is just the nature of Vedana.
Yes.
Good, bad, and neutral Vedana. Somewhere between good and bad.
Yes.
Sometimes you can relieve your painful feeling. Then when you're hungry, you can eat food, and your painful feeling from hunger will disappear. But if there are other type of painful feeling, sometimes you cannot do anything about it. Then you just have to learn to live with it. Then when you're sick, when you have fever, you cannot get rid of the fever right away.
Yes.
So just stay calm and let the fever come and go. If you have medicine, you can take medicine, but you have to be patient. They don't disappear right away after you take the medicine. Sometimes it takes a few days before the fever will subside.
Yes.
But you don't need to have any dukkha from the painful feeling of the body. If you have the Dhamma medicine to keep your mind calm, have mindfulness, have Buddha, and have wisdom to teach you to let go. Because they are anatta. Okay, good enough?
Okay, Bante. Okay. Thanks.
Go to Malaysia, to Philip and Angeline.
Good evening, Ajahn. Ajahn, I got a question to ask you with regards to the practice of metta. Often I read that there are 11 benefits of metta. I mean, most of them it's actually quite quite straightforward. You wake up easy, you don't have nightmares, all these things like that. One of which I think item number 7 is that fire, poison, and weapons will not harm you. This is not literally, right? It's basically has to do with especially the fire sermon, which the Buddha talks about your senses, and if you are not guarded against your greed, delusion, and hate, these are things that will harm you, right? It's not literally that fire won't burn you and poison won't poison you.
No, it's literal.
Literal.
Because when you make friends and when you don't have enemies, then it's only your enemies that will try to kill you by poison or by. But if you make everybody your friend, then nobody will kill you.
Okay. So I mean,
so you should not be killed by other people.
Yes.
Basically.
Okay. So I mean, sorry.
Because you make friends of everybody. Nobody is your enemy. You don't hurt or make other people unhappy with your action.
Okay. So it's not to say
they all love you. You act like a Santa Claus. Who wants to be killed Santa Claus?
Okay.
So
it's not a Superman thing that you stand in front of that and no bullets will hit you or.
No. You die of natural causes.
Okay.
You still die of natural causes or from your old karma.
Okay.
If you had some enemy from your past life, and you should meet them in this lifetime, they can still kill you.
Okay, understand. Okay, understand.
All right. Like the venerable, what's his name, who got killed by someone. Moggallana. Yeah. Even he was an Arahant and he has psychic power. He says no use to try to escape from this karma, because if you escape today, they'll come after you tomorrow.
Okay.
So he said, might as well get it over with. Let it happen. Okay. He was willing to pay the price of his bad karma.
Understand.
Okay.
Understand. Thank you, Ajahn.
All right. Jack Yanso from Penang.
Ajahn, yeah, good evening. No question, Ajahn.
Okay. Rihanna Charlotte from Indonesia, right?
Yes, Ajahn. Today, I have a question. So, what is the meaning of have saja, but with panyatu? So we believe with the right view.
Having sattha, I think sattha and wisdom, right?
Yes.
Okay, sattha means to have faith, but you should not have blind faith. You have common sense to back up your faith. If it doesn't sound right, don't believe. Don't believe everything that you've been told. You have to also prove, or some way try to prove that what you've been told is true, or else you can be deceived by other people if you just mainly have faith alone. So you have to have common sense also. If they say drink poison will send you to Nibbana, then you have to think twice. Yeah. But if you just have only faith and you say, if you believe in me, I said drink poison and you go to Nibbana, you might drink poison. Understand? So wisdom is to have common sense and try to decide for yourself whether what you heard is sensible or not. If it doesn't sound sensible, the Buddha said, don't believe it. Wait, prove it for yourself first. Or ask someone who has proven before you can fully believe in that. You have to read in the Kalama Sutta. Kalama Sutta said, don't believe because he's your teacher telling you things. Don't believe because everybody is believing. He said before you can believe, you have to prove it to yourself first, whether it is true or not. If it's not true, then you neither believe or disbelieve. You just leave that thing alone until you can prove otherwise, one way or the other. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Ajahn. I wish that Ajahn always health and well.
Okay, thank you. Titima from Thailand.
นมัสการค่ะพระอาจารย์
Yes,
Today I just came back home after making candlelight procession ค่ะ
I see you went to Vientiane.
Yes and
Okay.
in the Buddhist Lent period I will keep 8 precepts strictly
Okay, congratulations.
ค่ะ
Hope you can keep it. You know,
Good to see you
we,
ค่ะพระอาจาร
sometimes
ย์
we can make resolution, but sometimes we cannot keep up with our resolution.
ค่ะ
Try to keep up with what you have resolved to do. Okay.
โอเคค่ะ Hope to see
Okay.
you ค่ะ Have a
Okay.
good day
Stalin Wetty from California again. How are you today? You have to unmute your microphone first. Cannot hear you.
Use the mic. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, can hear you now.
Yes, you were. I just want to tell you that you talked about Switzerland. Do you know that there's an Ajahn monastery in Switzerland?
Yes, I think the professor
Yeah.
also told me.
I have visited that. That's why I said that. Anyway, Ajahn, Ajahn, do I have your permission to talk to you about my understanding on the Dhamma as a result of the experiences that I have, or the insight that I have obtained from meditation? Do I have the permission?
You want to discuss this? I think if you don't use up too much time, it's okay. But because here we are more trying to give answers and question and answer rather than reporting what you have experienced or have achieved.
Okay. The understanding is that Nama, Rupa and Chitta are two different entities. They are two different entities. And the Chitta can remain without that attachment to the Nama, Rupa. And this is experienced at the level when Nama, Rupa totally disappears. And you also at that level, you experience, you have the knowing without the knower. So experience that knowing without the knower, you understand that, or you come to that insight that as long as the Nama Rupa is there, this capital I will be there, and that this capital I is nothing but an illusion brought about by Nama Rupa. And furthermore, the understanding that the Chitta can remain separate from Nama Rupa to whatever extent of period, depending on how long you are in the Samadhi, convinces you that rebirth is not a possibility, but it is a reality. Because once you come out, or when you are coming, your Chitta comes back to your Nama Rupa, to your normal self. And also, because that Chitta can remain separate from Nama Rupa, then there is, the Chitta can take up another Nama Rupa if this Nama Rupa vitality is no longer there. And then also comes to the understanding that the Nama Rupa here is maintained by the Pancha Nivaranas, or the 5 Nivaranas. And therefore, the moment you suppress those Nivaranas, the Nama Rupa tends to disappear, and together with that, the capital I tends to disappear. And therefore, you also come to that understanding, nama rupa pacca vijnana, vijnana pacca nama rupa, because the moment nama rupa disappears, the vijnana has disappeared. Together with that, the knower has disappeared. So therefore, you come to that understanding that this capital I is nothing but a pure illusion. And the path or the Dhamma is the only way, only path which has to be followed if you want to get rid of this capital I and bring about the ending of suffering. And therefore, you have no doubt whatsoever in the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sravaka Sangha. If my understanding is wrong, kindly let me know.
You have to see that nama rupa are transient. They are anicca, dukkha, anatta. And then you let go of your attachment to them. When you can do that, then all your dukkha will disappear. Okay?
Okay.
How's your wife? Okay?
She's all right. Yeah.
So I don't. I have no questions today. I always listen to your talks, and I have seen that being mindful has helped a lot. My mind is much more calmer and peaceful now because I'm mindful most of the time.
That's right. Try to be mindful all day long.
It's difficult to be mindful all day long, but most of the time I try to be mindful.
Okay.
So it has helped me immensely because I see that being mindful, you can see your mind when something that you like or dislike, that reaction comes accordingly, or you don't react at all if you're mindful.
That's right. If you have mindfulness, you can stop your reaction.
Right.
Yeah. You don't react with if you have to react, you react only because it's necessary or essential to react. Otherwise you just let everything be. Leave everything alone better.
Right.
Good to hear that. How's your friend? You are another lady who came with you to Thailand.
We have lost touch with her because
we have lost touch
with her, so we don't know how she's doing now.
Well, she was in California also, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think she's all right because children are married and she runs a Montessori school, so I think she's working in that. So I'm sure she's practicing. That we also practice every day, and we try to be mindful all the time.
Okay, good. Keep on practicing. Okay, meditation and mindfulness is very important, especially when you're old. You cannot do anything else.
Right. We have been listening to you now for nearly 10 years, right? We knew you when you didn't even have
Facebook
Zoom
or YouTube or anything.
Right. So therefore, we have practiced according to what you have said, to let go of most of our experiences, whatever we have experienced, and move on and go on with your daily, how you feel daily, and know how not to get involved in them, right? And not
just leave everything alone.
Let everything
Let
come
everything
up
be.
and then go away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even when I got sick, I had 3 surgeries last year. Even when I went through all that, I was calm and I was not scared. I knew that too will pass away. And
That's right. Everything will pass away. This body
right,
eventually will pass away. But
right,
you don't
and
pass away with your body. You still
right,
remain knowing and thinking.
right.
It doesn't matter how you remain
Yes,
restless or peaceful, that's all.
right, right, right.
Ajahn, this is the picture when
I
we met
see.
for the first time when I saw
First
you for the
time I
first
see
time.
on the mountain.
No.
Near
It,
that stone, near your kuti, the
Oh,
stone.
another
Yeah.
kuti at the where you give the talks, but now of course it is changed because there's no longer the. Let's see, try to focus it there. Can you see that?
Yes, I can see me
It's
standing.
no longer that area is now river. The
You mean
area is
on the mountain?
no. Right in on the side of where you give the Dhamma talks.
I
Of course,
see.
now it is different. Now it is different because you have built. There's a wall type of thing where you sit there. Can you see that? Is it clear?
I can only see me standing. I cannot see the
Yeah,
background.
you can see the detail of it. Let's see.
Anyway, it's okay.
You see that is, I don't know whether I can focus it better than that.
I'm standing somewhere. Is this on the
Standing
mountain?
somewhere just on the right side of you is where you sit and give the Dhamma talk.
I see.
Now this part is covered by a wall now, where people sit there now. Those who have no room there, they sit there.
Okay.
Can you figure out now that there? See the wall there. Can you see near the foot of that tree?
Uh-huh.
You could recognize that.
No,
Near your foot now is that wall that is built for people to sit there if they have no room inside.
yes. Okay. That's why you used to sit when you.
That is the first time I saw you there.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I still have this on my shrine room.
Good.
And so that's how I saw you the first time, and how I made a comment regarding you. And can you remember you said that well, it was he said that with a good heart. Can you recall that?
No, I cannot.
This is what I said. If I were to recall, this is what I said. If Venerable Sir, if you have not yet attained Nibbana, then I wish and pray that you will attain it in this very birth.
Mm-hmm.
Then you said, then that other lady said, there is nothing for the Ajahn to attain. And then you answered me and said, well, he spoke that with a good heart. Can you recollect that? I can still remember that.
I cannot recall. I'm sorry.
You can't recall it. Okay. I can still remember that.
Okay.
So anyway, and then thereafter we had other discussions separately. Can you remember when I gave you a ride back to your kuti, you were kind enough to give us a chance to discuss with you the Dhamma, where you spread a mat in front of your kuti door and spoke to us for more than an hour.
Yeah, okay. All right. I think I have to move on now, okay, to some other
Thank you very
people.
much, Ajahn.
Okay, thank you for coming in and hope you will come back again next time.
Okay, I will. Thank
Okay,
you.
see you. I'll go to Piyao and Indira from Toronto.
Good morning
Good
from
morning.
Toronto, Ajahn.
Good morning.
Good evening to you.
So nice to see you always. Thank you. And I have a question from you because you were saying about blind faith. See, I was brought up in Sri Lanka, and from my very young age, I had a really like unshaken faith for Buddha and Buddhism. But I always used to wonder, like, when people were doing like lots of, like, we have lots of ritualistic kind of puja. Even as a child, I used to wonder, and especially like, when we have big dana, people offer, and then, when poor people try to eat it, they don't want, like, things like that. And then recently, now today is Asalapoya, so, and also there is Vas Aradhana, like inviting for Vas. And like lots of friends had sent me pictures. I see Buddha Puja, like they say 48 types of juices and all kinds of, is there anything, Ajahn, that, is it just culturally and promoted, or is it, what do you think of all that? I just need to know for my own understanding.
About what you're trying to say? I could not understand.
Sorry,
can you repeat again?
offering so many things, like now, because we grew up seeing all that, but then when I came to Canada in my late 20s, I got the good fortune to meet lots of Thai Ajahns, and most of them, when they come, when we offer dana, they don't do the typical Buddha puja. So what do you think, like, is there a purpose in doing it? Or
doing what?
That's Buddha, like offering so many, like sometimes we do 48 types of juices, this many kinds of fruits, all these things, the ritual part of it.
Well, it's up to the giver, whatever they want to give. That's if they fancy giving different things, that's the business. Monk has nothing to do with what givers should give. Monk are bigger, so we don't ask.
It's actually for Buddha, not for monks. Monks, it's fine. But this is for Buddha. Buddha puja, they do.
I think they are misled, because the right way to puja the Buddha is to practice following his teaching, Patipat puja. And if they want to puja with material things, they should just use flowers, incense, and candles, or some kind of ornaments, like put a piece of robe or something over the statue or something like that. But not to offer food, because that's just like washing ghosts, paying respect to ghosts, because they still think ghosts can eat food, But this is more like this is not the right way of paying respect to the Buddha or to the Buddha image.
Yes, because that's why I asked, because lately I've seen like it's increased like so, like huge amounts of like areas of.
I think most people who do this, they expect a good return in their investment. See. I think by offering a lot of stuff to the Buddha, they will become rich, they will prosper in their business or something like that.
Thank you so much, Ajahn, because I saw this today at the Asala Puja, and you were talking about blind faith. I just thought I will check for my own, because I felt that way too. Thank you so much, Ajahn.
It doesn't make sense to give food to the Buddha statue, right? The Buddha statue cannot eat.
That's true. That's what all the young.
It's just a waste of food,
It's not practical at all. It's just
not practical. And Buddhism is always practical.
Exactly.
Nothing mythical, nothing.
Exactly.
So anything that sounds funny, then you can be suspicious.
And say Buddha.
Yes.
And just leave everything alone.
Yes. That's
just
what
just follow the practice. That's all. Follow the Dhamma Eightfold Path, and everything else you can disregard.
Thank you. That's what we keep doing.
Otherwise, when you see this, it can become a defilement of your own mind. Again, then your mind become restless and anxious and anger. All those defilements flow through. You say Buddha. If you see it, it's okay. I mean, maybe that person has a purpose. We don't see a purpose, practical purpose.
That's right.
Yeah.
Some people still think the Buddha is a god, which can bestow them blessing whatever they ask for, they will get from the Buddha statue. That's mostly Thai belief. They go to a temple with huge Buddha statue and ask for blessing. If they cannot have a child, they ask for a child to bear a child. If they cannot get a job, they go to the Buddha to ask for a job.
Buddha is not a god.
Yes, I think every country has their cultural thing. Like in Sri Lanka.
Because they don't study the Buddha's teaching.
Yeah.
And they just been taught by just culturally. If you need anything, just go to the Buddha and ask for his blessing.
I think the best way to puja is follow the Eightfold Path and attain jhana and get enlightened. That's a Buddha puja, I believe.
The Buddha never taught us to beg for things. The Buddha taught us to work for it. If you want something, you have to work for it. Not go begging for it. You don't get what you beg, but you get what you work for it. What you work for.
Yeah.
Now you cannot beg for Nibbana from the Buddha. The Buddha said, if you want Nibbana, practice the Noble Eightfold Path.
That's true. Thank you so much, Ajahn. Yes, today because of this Asalapoya and Vas, like they were inviting for us so many pujas, we got so many pictures. So when you said about the blind faith, I just wanted to check with you what you think. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. How about Priya? You have any questions?
I think you were talking about these psychic powers a little while ago. So these are pretty much like a byproducts of jhanas. I mean, you can, maybe there is some use in it, but I think the Samadhi Sutra talks about four pathways to jhana. There's a mindfulness and clear comprehension, happy abiding here and now. I think that's the most commonest result is happy abiding, blissful abiding here and now. And mindfulness and clear comprehension goes a little bit further. And eventually, the most important one is destruction of all pains. So, and one of them is psychic powers. So the psychic powers is like a product of the jhanas, but it's not useful, maybe useful for not for us. I mean, maybe Buddha used it in certain times, but if you can get carried away too much, if you develop psychic powers, I guess the best is to, as a layperson, maybe at least pleasant abiding here and now, just peaceful mind. If you can go to the next level of mindfulness and clear comprehension and get to wisdom, I think that's probably the best path, I believe.
That's right. Psychic power can distract you away from the path to enlightenment. So you should not get involved with psychic power before you become enlightened. But after you become enlightened, if you have this psychic power, you can use it for the benefit of the spiritual beings. Like the Buddha taught the Deva every night. He gives Dhamma talk to spiritual beings every night. He taught his mother to become a Sotapanna. His mother was a spiritual being. And he has to have psychic power to reach her and to communicate with her. So this is good for someone who is already became enlightened. If you haven't become enlightened, this kind of psychic power is like playing games.
Yeah, it's like having a weapon, you don't know what to do with it, sharp weapon.
You're just wasting your time playing games. You're supposed to be studying medicine, right? But you take your time off and play
video games.
Yeah, video games. Then you'll never pass your examination when you go take your examination. So this is something like that.
Yeah.
This psychic power is like playing with video games.
Yeah. You can get distracted from the path completely.
Right, because you don't pay attention to develop wisdom, you don't pay attention to develop equanimity.
Is it the same happened to Devadatta? Maybe in
that's right.
Historical.
Devadatta, he had psychic power, and he misbelieved that psychic power is the path to enlightenment. Or he had become enlightened because he had achieved psychic power. So he wanted to become a Buddha's successor. He asked the Buddha that the Buddha let him be the chairman of the Buddhist council, and the Buddha said, "You're stupid, my most intelligent disciple, I still didn't appoint him as the chairperson. Why would I appoint you as a chairperson?" That caused Devadatta to become very angry. And then this caused him to try to kill the Buddha 3 times.
So
because
it can be dangerous.
It can be dangerous because it will support your ego.
So that's good red flag.
It's very, very important because people who have psychic power think they are great. They can do things that normal people cannot do. But the only thing they cannot do with psychic power is get rid of the defilement. Defilement is not afraid of psychic power. Defilement happy to have people with psychic power because they can use that person as the servant.
Yes, that's a good point.
So defilement like people with psychic power. Defilement doesn't like people with wisdom and equanimity.
It's Mara's good friend, psychic powers.
That's right.
That's true.
Okay, understand?
Yes, Ajahn, thank you so much. Teran Saranai.
Okay, I'll move on to the next person. Maybe you can come back later if you have any question, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Sulan from Singapore. Sulan,
Oh, hello, Ajahn. Nice to see you. And
do you have any celebration in Singapore on this day, Asala Bhusha Day?
like in Singapore, we don't really have celebration. Yeah. So normally my Buddhist friends, we will tune into Dhamma talks by Ajahns. Yeah. Then I think Ajahn Anand has a Asaha Puja ceremony online that we can tune in as well.
I see. But not in Singapore. The monastery in Singapore, do they have any celebration on this day?
I'm not too sure on that. Yeah. But I can go check it out.
No, don't need to. Just if you don't know, it's okay. The one that you go regularly, they don't have any program for this tonight.
The one that I go regularly is Buddhist Fellowship Center.
I see.
Yeah. So normally they will tap on Ajahns that are organizing ceremonies. Yeah. Then we will tune in virtually, and if there's any Ajahn, then they will invite them to give Dhamma talk. Yeah.
Okay, you have any question tonight?
Tonight, I haven't thought of a question yet. Yeah. Just listening in.
Okay, maybe later, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
I'll go to Wales and to Diana.
Greetings, Tanajan. I was interested in the festivals all being on full moon days, and I wondered what that means, because we're all part of the universe and the 4 elements.
Well, just like celebrating the New Year Day, you celebrate on the 1st of the month, right? So in ancient time, they used the full moon as the first day of the month. So it's auspicious because at night, the full moon, you can have light at night. They didn't have electricity like we have here today. So sometimes they rely on the moon for lighting at night. So it's a good time to have spirit celebration during the full moon. Like they have full moon party in Thailand. But that's for the youngster with taking drugs and whatever. You heard of that, right? Full moon party. Tonight they have this near Koh Samui.
Well, the moon is powerful, isn't it? Because it pulls the water in the tides.
I guess, yeah. So maybe they had something to do during ancient time. Ancient time, people rely on the moon and the sun for whatever activity they wanted to do.
Thank you.
Is that all?
Yes.
Okay. Go to Gary from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. Just want to say that I think Wat Thailand has the Asa Puja ceremony tonight. The one I know. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So
Do they have candle procession also?
yes, they have the circumambulation 3 times around the temple.
I see.
Yeah, I think it has been ongoing for since for a long time. So
Since the start of the monastery.
yes, since the start of the monastery, if I'm not wrong. So every year they have this.
Yes, because I think they have Thai monks in residence, right?
Yes, they do have a resident. I thought it's a Thai monk, and many of the local monks they just join in, and the ladies will be invited also for the circumambulation after the evening chanting.
Okay, most temple will have this candle procession, and after that they will have Dhamma talks and also meditation. Some monastery will do it all night until the next morning.
The next morning. That is in Thailand, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends
but
on.
But not every monastery. Some monasteries just only do it until about midnight and they stop. But on Visakha Bhucha, most monasteries do it all night because Visakha more important.
Okay, and they probably have the overnight seating. On Visakha Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sitting and listening to Dhamma talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your info. Anything else?
Nothing. Just to report that I'm going for a 10-day retreat to up my practice.
Yes, good. You need to practice.
Yeah.
Listening to Dhamma talk alone is not enough.
Yeah. So that's all I have to report for now.
All right,
Okay,
good.
Ajahn. Thank you.
Next, Melinda, also from Singapore.
No questions now, John. Listening. Thank you.
Okay. Calvin from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. Nice to see you. Ajahn, just one question on meditation. When one meditate at time and have this feeling of falling from a high place, how does one overcome the fear? I mean, getting frightened.
It's like it's a falling in the virtual world. It's not real. Just tell yourself it's not real.
Yeah. I think without mindfulness, I think we would probably.
It's like playing video game. Yeah, just think of it. When you meditate, you're actually watching the mental screen. So the mental screen can then show you all sort of happening. Just be aware and just remain calm and stay mindful. And then nothing can hurt you.
Okay.
If you feel fearful, you can use Buddha to calm your mind down.
Yeah. If the reflex reaction is sometimes you will just get frightened and just get out from meditation.
Yeah, that's because your mindfulness is not strong enough to stop your action or your reaction.
Yeah.
So just keep on practicing and just know in the back of your head that no harm comes to you when you meditate, no matter what happens, no matter what you see or experience. They are all virtual. They're not real, but they seem real. So whenever you feel lack of security, just keep reciting Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha.
Right.
To calm your mind down. And treat everything as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Everything that appears.
I think I asked you this before. We can also continue when we chant Buddha.
Yes, continue on. And everything will disappear. Sometimes your mindfulness becomes weak, so this thing appear.
And we can do both together, right? Like when we chant bu, we just breathe in, do out. We can chant and look at the breath as well together, right?
Yeah, you can do that, or you do either one alone without tying them together. Sometimes you want to recite faster, then you cannot use the breath as well, because the breath has its own rhythm. If sometimes you feel fearful and you want to recite the Bhutto quicker, more faster, if you tie with the breathing, then you cannot do it faster.
Yeah, it's very disturbing if you try to breathe very fast.
Yeah. So sometimes just use the mantra alone and disregard the breathing, the breath. You don't have to tie them together. It's not necessary.
Sometimes I start together, then I will let go one because it's easier just to do one. Yeah.
That's right. It's easier to do one than try to do two. But sometimes when you start, your mind can be restless. So doing two might cause the mind to become less restless.
Okay, that's restless.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Ajahn. Thank you very much.
To intend, I read your name correctly.
Yes, Longpo. I'm no question, Longpo. I just learning.
You're from Indonesia?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Longpo.
We'll go to Evie, also from Indonesia. Evie, can you hear me? Okay.
Ajahn, can Ajahn hear me?
Yes.
Ajahn, I have question. And I see every monk when finish Pindapata always recite the chant like Yatha Varivaha Pura Pare Purintisan Kara.
That's blessing.
That is the blessing or chanting, or the purpose is dedicate merit for food containing the animal flesh so that it can be born to a good place.
No, actually, it's just a congratulation on the good deed of the people who give food. That this action will bring you good happiness, good health, and longevity, and so forth. That's what it means. And you can share this merit with the departed people. If you read the translation, go look, search for the translation.
And what the name of this chanting?
Anumodana Gatha. Anumodana Gatha.
Anumodana Gatha. Okay, Ajahn. So can we ordinary people also recite this chanting every time we eat?
It's up to you, and there's no, but normally it's used by monks when people give them gifts. Like if you come to the temple and you give monks gift, and the monk will recite this verse. But most people don't understand what the monk is reciting, so they thought the monk is giving them blessing, but actually it's just giving them teaching, not blessing.
So if we ordinary people, if we chant this parita, and our purpose is to share merit to unseen being.
You can do that without doing the chanting. You don't need to do the chanting. When you give dana, you already feel good, and you can share this feeling good with the departed.
Okay, Ajahn, I understand now. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, go to Penang. Christine Coe.
So glad to see Ajahn again today. Very good day. Thank you so much. I have no question. Thank you. And may Ajahn be well and happy.
Okay, thank you. Happy to see you too. Okay, we go to Mechi Billy from Indonesia.
Good evening, Ajahn. Today I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, then we'll go to Facebook now. Kunjuk, you have any question from Facebook or YouTube?
Yes, this evening we have 6 questions so far.
The first question is from Charmaine Turner. The more I practice meditation, the more compassion I feel for all sentient beings. When I see them suffering, it causes me sadness. How do I cope with this?
You have to use equanimity. It means your meditation hasn't yet reached the full maturity. If your meditation become fully complete or calm, then you have this sense of equanimity in which you can leave things alone. When you see things happen and there's nothing you can do about it, then you just say that's the way it is, but you won't feel sad. You see that this is just a natural happening of things. But if you don't have equanimity, then if you have compassion, then your compassion will want you to do whatever you can for people who suffer. But sometimes it's beyond your ability to do. And when you cannot do that, then you feel sad. So you need to have equanimity to balance with your compassion. Sometimes it's something that you cannot do about. There's nothing you can do to help. Then you have to stay calm and not feeling sad. Because feeling sad will only hurt yourself. Because you want to help. And this becomes defilement, your desire to help. And when you cannot help, then it can cause you sadness. But if you have equanimity, you can balance this compassion and the lack of compassion.
The next question is from Warbler Mitata. Can Ajahn please give an example of what a practical Dhamma talk would be like?
Well, talk about sila, talk about morality, talk about dana, talk about meditation. Usually progress from dana to sila, and then to meditation, to samadhi, to wisdom eventually. This is normally teacher in the forest tradition will teach. Because listeners are of different level. Some people are still on the dana level, so you have to touch on the dana subject. Some people are on the morality level, and some listeners are on the meditation level. So you have to go through all this. Well, occasionally a teacher might concentrate on just one particular level, one particular object. It depends. It depends who the audience is.
The next question is from Pauline Soon. Can Ajahn please give an explanation about the rising and falling of the abdomen as a method of meditation?
Well, when you breathe in, your abdomen will rise or expand. When you breathe out, your abdomen will collapse. It will fall. So that's what it is. So instead of watching the breath and the tip of your nose when it comes in and go out, you find it difficult. So you watch your abdomen, feel the abdomen. When you breathe in, your abdomen seems to expand like a balloon. When you breathe out, the abdomen collapses like the balloon without the air inside. That's it.
The next question is from Tanik. Ajahn, I feel unwholesome and evil thoughts arising. How I ensure they do not arise?
You can counter them with good thought, like Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Whenever you have bad thought coming up, just keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, or chant, if you like, chant the loving kindness verse, Sape Satta Avera Hontu, Sape Satta Abhaya Pacha Hontu. Or if possible, chant the English translation so you can understand what you're chanting. May all beings be well and happy. Just keep reciting this verse. Then you can counter your bad thoughts.
The next question is from Nana. Wandami Lungpa Sukhi Hotu. Good evening. Please, Lungpa, can you advise? Can the monk have an ATM card? Because I ever hear the monk use the card. Anumotana with sincerity.
The monk can use the ATM card, but once the once the money comes out of the machine, the monk cannot take hold of it and use it. He has to rely on a lay person to carry the money for him and to use the money for the transaction. Like your monk wants to have a Pepsi, the monk cannot just take the money from the ATM machine and then buy a Pepsi by himself. He needs a proxy, he needs someone to do it for him. But yes, he can use a credit card or ATM card as long as he doesn't touch the money or buy things with money himself.
And the last question is from Vince Chua. Maintaining feel good as an awareness technique to keep negative emotion at bay. Is it a good mindfulness practice? What are the pros and cons? I thought it really helped. It was helpful in my daily life.
Well, if you think you can maintain good feeling, then it's okay. But sometimes when you have bad feeling, how you gonna do it? So it's better to use a mantra. And when you can have good feeling to use as your meditation object. And you better use mantra instead. Because your mind can change. Sometimes you feel good and sometimes you feel bad. So what do you do when you feel bad? You cannot have good feeling to maintain, to use as your mindfulness. So it's better to use mantra.
That is all for this evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, we have some time left. Anybody would like to ask more questions?
We have another two people. Amy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see who. Christian.
Below. Yeah, below.
Okay, Amy, you want to say something?
นมัสการค่ะพระอาจารย์
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay ค่ะ My question today is quite common for a human, but it is difficult to pass. I just had a disappointment from toxic relationship. Could you recommend how to deal with it? How to remove myself from this situation?
You have to understand that every relationship is not reliable. They're not something you can expect to be good. Some relationship can be good at first and then turn into toxic later on. Because everything is changing. Everything is not the same all the time. So this is something you have to teach yourself to accept. And don't expect to only have good relationships. Sometimes relationship can be good and sometimes it can be bad. So if you know ahead of time, then when relationship turn bad, then you won't feel bad because you know ahead of time and you prepare yourself for it. The problem is you didn't prepare yourself for toxic relationship. So when it happens, you don't know how to deal with it.
Okay ค่ะ
Okay. So just expect that nothing goes good all the time. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. If you don't like this relationship, then give up this relationship and live alone. Like me, I don't have any relationship. So I don't have to worry about good or bad relationship. Okay.
Thank you very much ค่ะพระอาจารย์
It's better to live alone. No relationship. Better.
โอเคค่ะ
Okay. But if you cannot live alone because you're lonely, then you have to learn to meditate. Because if you can meditate, then you won't feel lonely. Then you can live alone. You don't have to have any relationship with anybody. Okay.
Thank you very much ค่ะพระอาจารย์
All right. Okay, we'll go to Dean. Are you a monk now, Dean? Or novice?
Good evening, for Suchart. I'm a monk now. 2 weeks ago, I used the wrong earphone, so the speaker was not good. Can you hear me?
Yes, very good now tonight. Perfect.
Yes, so I'm just experiencing being a monk, see what it's like, and it's not. Yeah, I have a question about, just to check with you if you can advise. The morning evening chanting here, we cover the chanting of the 32 parts of the body. And
Yes, it's part of the formula.
Yes. But the thing is, I did walking meditation and sitting meditation as much as I can in the forest here, the small forest behind. So living as a monk is quite good in terms of the range of my thinking, the topics, and what triggers the kind of thoughts in my mind. The range of it is smaller. So I want to check with you is that I use the Mahasatipatthana Sutta as a guide. When I was chanting these 32 parts of the body, something connected. And I realized that I've been observing all the thoughts, all the, like, whatever I can observe in my mind since before ordination, during ordination, and up to now. It seems like the mental content or any movement, my feelings, memories, all that is quite similar to when I look at the parts of the body. I can't really change it. It changes. And this body is changing and my mind is changing. And so I don't know whether is this in line with your advice of practicing some samadhi. I'm trying to quieten down and observe without interfering the movement of the mind and also the...
Yes, I think if you want to develop mindfulness for meditation, you should use the body only. Just keep watching the body to prevent your mind from more thinking about anything else. The goal of mindfulness here is to stop thinking. So then when you meditate, your mind can enter into jhana. But then once you have mastered your meditation, you can enter jhana anytime you want. And the next thing you want to study the nature of the body, feeling, and the mind, that they are constantly changing and they are not under your control. To try to control them will cause you dukkha.
Yeah. Ajahn, to fine-tune this, can I ask, in terms of the body, like the 32 parts, there's quite a lot of parts. Should I narrow down to a few parts, if it helps me?
If you like, the goal is to stop your sexual cravings from arising. If you see the beautiful faces or beautiful shapes, you might get sexual desire coming up. So you have to look at the opposite parts to see the unpleasant parts of the body, whichever part you like, maybe the skeleton, or maybe just the skull. Look at people's face, you don't see the skull on the side, right? Inside. So imagine the skull under the beautiful face. If you can see the skull, then your sexual desire can disappear right away.
Yeah, yeah, it has happened. It is not difficult to spot the ugly details because I train as a design architect, so I can see things coming out from the nose and the eyes.
That's right.
I just focus. Yeah.
Architects see the structural part of the building also.
Yeah, it's not pleasant, but even that I try not to have aversion because everything is both. Anyway, the point is to stop thinking. I get that, Ajahn. You've been very helpful, and I just want to follow your footsteps for as far as I can. I don't know whether I can be a monk for long because it's not something that I know. So I just take it a week or one side at a time.
Just keep on practicing. If you succeed in your meditation, you might not want to disrobe because you will then have all the time to meditate. But if you don't succeed, then your mind will become restless and want to do something else. And you cannot remain in the robe for long.
Yeah, I'll come to you and ask for further instructions.
It depends on your practice. However long you might be able to remain in robe depends on the progress of your practice. Okay. Well, we have another alumni who used to ordain for a few weeks, Aroka. Aroka. Okay, I'll talk to Aroka now. Aroka from Holland. You still in Holland? Please unmute your microphone.
Mute.
lower left hand corner. There's a microphone icon. You have to tap on the lower left corner of the screen. You don't see it? Okay. It means you didn't enter the room properly. Yeah. When you first enter the room, the application will ask you for using the computer.
Okay.
Now it's okay. Now succeed.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Sorry, sir. It's a new telephone, so I have to get used to. Sorry. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Okay, where have you been all this time?
Well, here is my new home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's completely empty. Just I have a bed, and this is my partner for the bush. One here who is meditating now.
Is it a house or an apartment?
It's a flat, first floor.
I see. One room flat?
Sorry?
One room, single room?
No, it's big. It's big. It's a social. It's from social, from the government. They gave me.
I see.
And I live by social.
Social welfare.
Yes, I'm a monk. A monk in the way. I'm a monk. I don't need to work. Actually, I applied to be a guard in the bush, but I know they won't pick me up. But I have to apply, and that's all.
Yeah.
Then I can be nearby the bush. I'm near the bush now. I have 500 meters. I have a bush. I already have a place for meditation. I hope next week I send from there. I spoke to the bush guards. They said, no, it's not allowed to nobody in the bush, but they made the hands like this. They like to talk to me. They say, well, you can go, but not the dog. I say, well, when I'm meditating, I'm far away. And then the dog is just for to wake me up. Okay. So they allowed me to meditate inside the bush. And that's the good news. And it is, the house is completely empty. Only what I need. It's I think it's that's the way. One time food a day, and then later in the food less salt, less. It's already started. Less salt, less sugar, and going to simplify. And because I don't have much to do to clean the house or to clean the things, then make fasting. Fasting, then you don't need to cook. Then I can stay longer in the bush. Things like that. I already started long-term meditation. 3 days I started.
Yeah,
because
it's up to you how much you want to meditate. You have to push yourself. No one can push you. So you have to push yourself.
Teacher, if I feel dizzy, I go meditate, the dizziness go away. If I feel tired, like to sleep, I go meditate, this go away. And if I feel hunger, then I push I meditating, then come the hungry. Yes, I feel hungry, then I stand up, I make like I go to the kitchen, and then I go walking. I disguise myself with meditation. And then it's like the Dhamma change, so change for this, but I can change it for the way what I really want. You understand?
Yeah. Okay.
Because it changes all the time. I have a long-term walk here inside. Also, it's a 24 steps, and
good enough for walking meditation.
Yes, and I have to walk the dog at night. I do most of times. So I go buto, but it's not the same as here. Here is very strong. And when I'm gonna be in the bush, then he's gonna be fast on the wire, and then I can also walk meditation. I think this is the best. How say I could have For me, I don't do anything else, teacher. I have to put all this floor here. Was on the cement, but they gave me the money to buy the floor also.
I see. So everything is paid for by the social welfare program.
Yes, good karma, like you told me that I have good karma. So it's going on and on, the good karma.
How long does this last, though?
Well,
Forever? No limit? No time
Sorry?
limit? No time limit? How long this welfare will last?
The karma is karma. It's the Dhamma. He comes. I cannot judge it anymore. It's good. It's good, and I don't plant bad seeds. And my sila is very good now because I do everything correct with legal. Before I had a plan to go to Thailand and this and that, so I did things like hire a room. I cannot. It's not my house. It's social. Then that's black money. So then I come to Thailand. I lost my portemonnaie. I lost my card. I was 4 days in the airport because I have to fly back before my ticket, and I so on. Big karma. I said I never more do. You cannot put a candle for the devil and one for the angels. You know, you do this correct. You know, that's the sila. So now I don't have those dreams to do things. I make it in 2.5 years. I'm retired, and then we see. I brought very nice tools. I make very good friends in Thailand. So if I would be back there now, I have friends in the hotel and friends in the monastery. I have a good relation with Ajahn, you know, and also other monks. So with you, you know. So I don't know. I don't make plans. I just work. I don't interfere with I try to be out of the way of the Dhamma. That's it, you know. When I see me making plans, oh, I'm going to speak to teacher, then I have to say this. No, just tell him you move, just this. And I already feel progress. I already feel in the few days that I had COVID, I had all this kind of things, and I had bronchitis again, and then I look to my lungs, I say, oh, the body is sick, you see? So the mindfulness didn't leave me completely. I was not meditating for 2 months, but I was still with the benefits of it.
Okay, good. As long as you can maintain sanity within your mind, it's okay.
Yeah, teacher, I'm like a child. I think it's the second jhana effect. You know, when we start to coming back to training, then in the morning I sing with my dog. I don't dance because he don't dance, but I don't want to put too much energy. But I let the flow of happiness. You know, I hear the birds, I hear the childs. I feel like a child, more or less, and because I'm happy.
Good.
There's no crocodiles here, teacher. There's no bees, no ants, ants. There's no snakes. There's no. It's you know, it's more or less like heaven.
Good. You're lucky.
I'm very lucky, really, to have you as a teacher. That is the cherry above the cake. You know, you teacher. You really.
I'm the cherry on the cake.
Yes.
So you eat the cherry first every time you eat the cake.
Yeah, I don't know if it is coincidence, but you and Sherry have the same color, more or less. You are close. So,
okay. Good talking to you. I have to move on now, okay?
Thank you, teacher. I hope you're happy to see me back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
May you remain happy all the time, okay?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, anybody else would like to ask any more questions? We have about 6 minutes left of our time. Sulan?
Yes.
Okay, Sulan.
Oh, thank you, Ajahn. I have two questions. My first question is why is it that dana is the first thing that we need to take a first step on before we proceed to like sila, samadhi, panya?
Because it's easiest, and you are readily you have the money to do it with. Then you do dana. The easiest way to make you happy. Keeping the sila is harder than doing dana. But you will eventually want to move up to sila and samadhi eventually. So you first practice dana so that you can practice loving kindness at the same time. When you give dana, it means you're having loving kindness. You want to help people. You don't want to hurt people. Once this become a habit, then you'll find easy to keep the precepts. Because the precept is to stop you from hurting other people. And when you can keep the precept, you feel happier. When you break the precept, you feel bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But sometimes you find it hard to keep the precept because you haven't yet had enough loving kindness from your dana. So you have to do more dana first. And when you can keep the precept, then your mind can become more calm. And then it will enable you to do meditation practice eventually. If you don't do dana, you spend your money on shopping, buying things, and you get attached to shopping, so you don't want to do other things. Every time you have money, you want to spend on shopping. So you will never have the time to keep the precept of the meditation. Because you have to pull yourself away from this shopping and things that you buy for your own pleasure. Better to keep the money away and help other people and be happy that this way, because being happy from dana will also help you make you to become more loving toward other people, more kind to other people. So it will then make it easier for you to keep the precept. And if you can keep the precept, then you can keep the 8 precept. First you keep the 5, then you can extend to the 8. When you keep the 8 precept, then you will have time to go meditate. So it's one step after another. You first have to go to the first floor before you can go to the second floor, to the third floor. So the practice is like this. It's go from easy to hard. You first do the easier part, then when you become stronger, then you move up to the next level. It's like playing games, it's like studying things. They have different levels, right? Easy level and difficult level. Okay, I have a little bit more time for just one brief question. You have another question?
Yes. So I read somewhere that it was in a sutta whereby the monk took a sniff of the flower, and then the deva actually reprimanded the monk, saying that how can you steal the fragrance of the flower to go and smell it? And then the monk retorted, saying that he did not pluck the flower, he didn't break the flower, so it's not considered stealing. But the deva still said that like it is considered stealing, yeah. And for a monk that is practicing purity of the mind, that's why that's the reason why the deva decided to like warn him. Yeah.
Yes, I think that deva wants him from being attracted to sensual pleasure, the smell of the good odor of the flowers. Yeah.
But if it's offered to the monk, is it still okay for the monk to smell it?
not really. The monk should not enjoy any sensual objects. You can use it for maybe worship purpose, but not for using it for pleasure. Like keep smelling the flowers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Understand now. I thought it was the harsh, but now I understand the intent.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Right. Okay, that's about it for tonight. I guess that's all the time we have. Thank you for your participation. I hope this meeting can give you more information and aid you in your practice. And if all things go well, please stay safe, stay mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you at the same time again next week. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ajahn.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, admin as well.
Thank you, admin.
Take
care,
everyone. Bye, Kunju. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
นุโมทนา